What is going on, y'all? Today I have what will probably be my last Halloween review of the season before we move on to Christmas. This is the brand new for 2024 Halloween inflatable 11 foot wide and about 8 feet tall Nightmare Before Christmas scene. That's just its official name, as you can see right down there. That's its title, the Nightmare Before Christmas scene. But this is basically what I refer to it as is the grandfather clock scene, which already, that is the big talking point about this one, is that people are actually kind of upset with this one because that grandfather clock is not an actual character from Nightmare Before Christmas or something you can see in Nightmare Before Christmas. They just kind of made it up for this particular design and maybe some other merchandise. I'm not sure if they're making any merchandise of this grandfather clock, but this is the first time we have seen a Nightmare Before Christmas inflatable to feature this kind of grandfather clock. And you'd have to go back and check throughout the movie if it's ever even seen, but what everyone's been saying is that it is never, like, in not even one frame of the movie you can see this grandfather clock design. But honestly, I think it's really neat. It fits the vibe of the movie for sure. I mean, they got the style down for sure, the Tim Burton-esque style. It does have that kaleidoscope in the back there, and the arm on it, it's just one arm, actually. It just it spins like the Haunted Mansion grandfather clock from last year, which I think is really neat. This is being sold for what is now $200 flat at BJ's this year, both in-store and online. And I would be super surprised if your store has sold out of them already, because BJ's always has an extra amount of them. But my store actually did not have this one out. It was the only one that for a few weeks now, even when I went and got the Haunted Tree Archway, and I went back a few other times too, they did not have this one out on display in the store. Not like just set up on display like they set up the store display model. I mean, like, this one was still on the rafters in the shipping boxes. So it took them until I finally said, you know what, I need this inflatable. I need to buy it for the display. So I had to go get them to take it down. I never really like to do that. I don't typically like to bother the employees to take it down for me off of the rafters when it's not time for it to be set up yet. But you know, it's mid-September now, and you know, you're just missing out on selling them when everything else is out, but those aren't. But anyway, I honestly really like this design. I think it's massive. I mean, it's 11 feet wide and 8 feet tall. This is a big scene, and I think the price for it right now is okay. It was $260 actually. That was its starting price, but they always planned on marking it down to $200, so I wasn't really worried about it. But I was actually expecting him to mark it down to like $230, but not just $200, which I thought is an even better price, just like the Haunted Tree Archway. But getting into the box design here, it is a massive box. You can't really see this on camera, but it is a massive box. It's the same size as like a snow globe box or something. It's a very big size. I think the same box size as like the 20-foot Christmas tree and the new 20-foot penguin at home. So this is definitely a big box. So it indicates that it's a big inflatable. I expect this one to have a tornado fan. I have not seen any reviews or anything on this one yet. As you can see, it is a BJ's exclusive. There's the mayor on the back and Teddy. 2024 Gemmy Industries, the Disney logo right here. They unfortunately do not show the silhouette of a person standing next to it to show its size on the license ones. For some reason, they don't do that. 7.9 feet tall, as you can see. So it is about 8 feet tall, 3 inches short. Lock, shock, and barrel, they're on the side. So I'm glad that they stuck with the Nightmare Before Christmas specific boxes from last year. They just took off the 30th anniversary branding because those basic Disney boxes honestly just weren't cutting it anymore. I mean, they were neat for that first year in 2021, but then they just kind of got repetitive and kind of boring. But overall, that's the box design, this awesome, sleek Nightmare Before Christmas box design. But let's go ahead and get this guy unboxed and see what kind of fan it has. This one does have a YEF 200, which I'm very happy with. It has the most powerful fan that they could possibly put in, and they did not cheap out on this one, but BJ's almost never cheaps out, except for that pumpkin stack that they have this year that is a 15-foot cheap fan. But I'm glad to see that with this one they went all out with the 200. And as I tried to show in the unboxing bit, the time lapse, on the cord, it did say it was made in May of this year, which is a little odd because typically the Hollow Inflatables are made in March or April, but this one was actually made in May, which is kind of interesting. Okay, so this is easily one of my favorite Nightmare Before Christmas designs they've ever made. This is like even better in person. It is a bit windy right now, but I'm not really worried about it falling over because it's very, there's a lot of ground space right here for it to naturally weigh itself down. It has all the characters, all the main characters at least. It has Jack and Sally and Oogie and Zero. Has that awesome grandfather clock that I can't believe people are actually upset about. This actually does have two hands on the clock that you just couldn't see on the box. All you can see on the box was the orange one, but there is a white one. I love the animation on it. It is a little bit noisy though. You can definitely hear the spinning around. Love the kaleidoscope already. It's still light outside right now, so can't wait to see that one at night, that kaleidoscope. As far as the C7s go, I can instantly see, obviously there's one in Jack's head right there. There's one in Sally. There's one in the grandfather clock right there. There's one in the tombstones. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. One in each pumpkin, 5, 6, 7, and then there should be one in Oogie. Yeah, right there in his head. So that makes 8 C7s. Good lighting already. I suspect this one will light up pretty fine at night. What I also like is that it's not just one solid body, so I want to put more Nightmare Before Christmas ones behind it that are a little taller, that this won't obstruct the view of them, which I do appreciate. As far as the zippers and tie-down points go, there's obviously the zipper down by the fan, and then there's the second zipper down at the base of Oogie. I believe those are the only two zippers, unless there's one hidden that I haven't found yet. As far as tether attachments go, so here's where it gets a little iffy. I would have rather them do the tether attachments. I would rather them put more tether attachments on the side of Jack and maybe not Sally, but because obviously, as you can see in the wind here, they wiggle around quite a bit, but the grandfather clock itself has 2 tether attachments on either side of it, and then there's 2 tether attachments on either side of Oogie. As far as the ones along the base, there's one right here, and then there's one right here. There's one right there. And obviously there's the 4 points on the fan for the back. And then there's one right here. So there's 4 tether attachments along the base that you're supposed to use the spiral stakes on. So those are pretty neat. It does come with the same, there's just the 4 plastic stakes and tethers, and then there's the 4 spiral stakes and the 4 metal pins for the fan. I really, really do like this design. This is a great Nightmare Before Christmas one. I can't believe that people, when BJ's lineup dropped, I can't believe that people were all super upset. I understand being upset about the price, because I mean, that starting price of $260 was way too expensive for this one, but I knew that they were going to lower the price down to about $200, and that's what I ended up buying this one for. And I think $200 is a much more reasonable price because it has the features, has YF 200, 8 C7s. It's a great, nice, big design. 11 feet wide, 8 feet tall, about 8 feet tall. Has the animation, has a kaleidoscope. It has everything you can want out of this one. There's not really much else you can say that it's missing. Get a good view from all the different sides of it. It has depth too, so it's not just like one flat scene. That's, as you can see, they're at different points, like the tombstones right here, Pumpkin, and then Jack, Sally, the clock, and then Oogie. Unlike the Mayorstown car, I think that all the characters are placed perfectly. I don't think there's a single character that's out of place. Like, as you can see, Zero right there, I mean, that would be the instant one that you'd say is a bit out of place. But like on the Mayorstown car, Jack and Zero do not need to be there. But I think on this one, Zero actually complements the design really nicely. I really do like this design. I also love that they did this kind of like barbed wire stuff as part of the design of the clock itself. There's a spider right there on the web in the center of the clock, rather than just doing it solid purple. I really do like that. I like the graphic down here. Honestly, if you take off the Nightmare Before Christmas theming, the clock itself can be its own inflatable, just like the Haunted Mansion grandfather clock from last year. But that's all there is to really see during the day. Let's go ahead and get the night view. So now that we've taken a good look at it, let's go ahead and rate it. So first things first is design. Design a solid 9.5, if not a perfect 10 out of 10. I really do like this design. I like that they didn't cheap out on anything. They went with the full scale, 11 feet wide and 7.9 feet tall. I like how they didn't slap anything really stupid on it, in my opinion. I mean, the grandfather clock itself is something added, but I think that really it's something where they're not completely restricted to stuff that comes directly from the movie, where they could just create stuff like this that matches the vibe of the movie perfectly. So I really do like that they decided to go with something like this instead of just reusing the same Nightmare Before Christmas designs over and over and over again. So I gotta say, really a solid 9.5 out of 10 for design, almost perfect. Then we got quality. Quality is again about a 9 out of 10. They have it has everything you could want out of it. It has the 8 C7s, has every character that you could want without being a little extra. It has animation, has a kaleidoscope, has a YEF 200. There's everything, and it has all the great tether attachments along the base. They're not really lacking on anything where they could have put more tether attachments. I think it's really designed really, really nicely. So as far as quality, I would say a solid 9 out of 10 for that one as well. And then we got price. Price, I'd go with a solid, about a 7 out of 10. Not saying it's a bad price. $260 was a terrible price, but $200's a much more reasonable because they knocked $60 off of it. But realistically, this one should only be about like $170. That's a much more realistic price, but $200's not, I'm not like crying over how I had to pay $200 for this one. But overall, for the overall score, I'd go ahead and say that this one's about a 9 out of 10. This is a almost perfect Nightmare Before Christmas design. I have nothing really to say that's like, this is terrible or anything like that. This is actually done really nicely. I'm actually glad that they're going in this direction, where this year Nightmare Before Christmas inflatables are actually becoming much more rare. I mean, Lowe's hasn't done any, neither has, well, as besides a few cheap fans, there's not much at Home Depot. Same thing with Walmart. But BJ's really came in clutch with this awesome design that it's brand new, and I think they knocked it out of the park. The store buyer who picked this out from Jemmy, and especially since they didn't cheap out and take anything out of it. This is the original design I expect from what Jemmy pitched them, and they didn't take anything out of it, which you gotta appreciate. But overall, there's my review on this brand new for 2024 Halloween inflatable 11 foot wide and 7.9 foot Nightmare Before Christmas grandfather clock scene. Thanks you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next review. Peace out. Bye.